I haven't met many travelers in my time who strive for decent mediocrity when choosing a resort for their family holiday. But if you do, well, I've got the place for you. As we get settled in, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Kevin and I'm the Flip-Flop Traveler. I'm a full-time creator with an eye to the skies and the beaches, and I enjoy my flip-flops nearly as much as I enjoy being honest and unclickbaity in my self-funded videos. If you'd like to know more about the channel or me, scan the QR code or click the link in the description. Have a look around the channel. There are hundreds of airline and hotel reviews to enjoy. This festival of meh begins now. Okay, let me speak plainly. This is not a bad resort, by any means. But there's simply no flair. There's nothing unique. And its sister property, the Zoetree, which I was just at before this one, certainly didn't help things because that place is wonderful. As we head inside the massive open-air lobby, let me note that I delayed this Mexico series, publishing it, because of this hotel. Right after my stay, the hotel supposedly underwent a massive renovation. Around the time that I originally wanted to post, say around September, their reviews were flooded with complaints about construction noise and the like. So I thought it would be better to wait a bit, and then I can show you some updated photos of things in comparison to how it was when I was there. Small problem though. Besides the lobby bar and one new restaurant, I can't find anything else that's changed. Based on their own photos and every photo posted in Google reviews in the past 4 months, it all looks exactly the same. So I really don't know what they were renovating, besides the fitness center, which was closed while I was there. This property was built in 2009 and originally operated as a Barceló. In the mid-2010s, it suffered damage from a hurricane, then underwent massive renovations and repairs, and reopened as the Hyatt Ziva in 2015. In the lobby just past reception, there's an extended hours coffee shop serving coffees, pastries, and light bites throughout the day. Hyatt Ziva is one of Hyatt's 9 all-inclusive brands, and it's one of their own. What does that mean? Well, Hyatt Ziva and Hyatt Zelara were created by Hyatt in partnership with Playa Resorts, who they're rumored to now be buying anyway. These brands weren't purchased a couple of years ago with many of the other 9 brands from Apple Leisure Group. So we could say that the Zivas and the Zelaras are generally the most Hyatt-y of the bunch. Ziva is for families and Zelara is for adults only. Often you'll find the two in the vicinity of each other, and sometimes they're actually connected like in Punta Cana. There are a few reasons why this resort is just a bit underwhelming to me. First, it's very much what you see is what you get. The layout is simple, which isn't bad, but there's a true lack of landscaping and creativity. It doesn't feel lush or tropical or like an escape. The vibes around the pool are closer to like your neighbor's new fancy pool than an upscale Cabo resort. I'll let you have a look around the pool areas and then we'll take a look at where we are. I should also mention that, remember, my criticisms or compliments are always based on the price that I paid. So if this was a $220 a night resort, I'd be talking very differently. There are 2 primary pools. the larger family pool in the rear, and the one geared more towards adults along the beach. This is also where you'll find the swim-up bar, which is the primary watering hole during the day. If you're enjoying the video and want to see more, please go ahead and click that like button, and more importantly, subscribe. If you're looking for lots more information about my travel in general, weekly posts, advanced itineraries, travel advice and the like, or just want to show your support for the channel, I'd invite you to check out my Patreon or YouTube channel memberships. Note that in my time leading up to my stay here, I read quite a few reviews talking about how, by 6 a.m., all of the chairs were taken and covered in towels, etc. Admittedly, I was here during lowish season in late spring, but this was at 8:30 in the morning and there wasn't a towel in sight, so perhaps the resort has gotten better with enforcement. Okay, let's check out where we are. Cabo is in the far west of Mexico on the southern coast of Baja California. Los Cabos refers to the two Cabos, Cabo San Lucas to the west, and San Jose del Cabo, which is more of a family vibe and is close to the airport and is where we are today. In a moment, we'll explore these two wings on each side of the resort. On the north side is a kids pool and kids club, and on the southern side is the adults pool and accompanying bar. Note that due to the angle of the sun in the buildings, you'd be hard pressed to find any sunshine here in the adult section before noon. In total, there are 619 rooms here, which are all referred to as suites. If you have status with Hyatt, you'll need to temper your expectations when it comes to upgrades and the like. Each brand in each location seem to have their own set of rules when it comes to their all-inclusives. I was Explorist while I was here, and I got a better room view and nothing more. From my understanding, Globalists at this property would also get access to the Preferred Club and likely get a better room, but don't expect any substantial upgrade. And don't bother with your suite upgrade awards, since all of these rooms are already labeled suites. If you're planning a trip to Mexico, be sure to check out my Mexico playlist, which will have nearly 20 videos by the end of the year, from the likes of Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Cabo, and Puerto Vallarta. Before we head to the beach, we can check out a few of the options for lunch. There are multiple carts and small eateries dotted throughout the property, as well as the Restaurant Cortez, which is beachside. All menus, maps, and information about the resort can be found in their app. Conveniently, it is not the Hyatt app, and it is not the Hyatt Inclusive Collection app. It is a web app just for them. I'll link it in the description. You can access it without being a registered guest. In there, you can see the exact options for each meal, the activities of the day, and operating hours, among anything else that you'd need. Restaurant Cortez is a beautiful setting. A perfect setting actually, right up against the beach without too much direct sunlight. My meal, unfortunately though, was not as inviting as the space. I started out with the Baja tacos, which were literally just tortillas with fried fish and cabbage, chipotle sauce and pico on the side, 6.2 out of 10. For my main, I ordered another appetizer, the tuna tiradito, which was foul. The fish was warm and grainy, and not wanting to spoil the rest of my trip, I did not touch it more than that initial itsy bitsy bite. We're going to go for a 1 out of 10, just because I'm feeling generous today. And now let's go check out what I think is the biggest selling point of this resort: the sprawling and beautiful beach. Now, keep in mind, like most resorts in Cabo, you cannot swim here due to consistent, dangerous riptides. But if you're someone who is just there for the beach ambiance and going ankle deep, like I often am, then this is a great beach for you for sure. When the sun comes out full blast, you're going to get that beautiful jade to royal blue gradient like many of the other beaches in the area. Alright, time to go check out my room. I booked a king standard room and was given a deluxe king with an ocean view, which I appreciated for having its central view of everything. So keep in mind, based on their own current photos, the photos people are actually posting, and based on the clear paint job that you see on the left-hand wall, which was recently done here, these are the renovated rooms. There's nothing bad about them, but they do feel especially dark, and just not fresh or vibrant. Actually, the vibe is very similar to the Zelara in Cancun. I'll let you have a look around as I put up the extra bits. Okay, for dinner there are quite a few options. Cortez is open again, plus you have the Hacienda Baja Grill. Dozo, the teppanyaki restaurant. Bon Vivant is an a la carte French option. And their app is now also listing a new one, Farina and Olio, an Italian restaurant. The international buffet is also an option. I chose the Mexican option, El Molino. Service in here was very representative of the resort as a whole, I feel. Straight and to the point, slightly scripted, but overall, pleasant. I started off with the chicken tinga pambazos, which was huge, but nicely presented and tasty, a 7 out of 10. For the main, I went with the mole poblano enchiladas, which oddly enough felt very similar to my appetizer, but with a mole sauce that was almost cloyingly sweet. I'll go with a 6.2 out of 10 for this one. For dessert, there was a dessert bar, something that I don't think I've ever seen at a resort like this, but a nice idea. There was everything from flan to donuts, tres leches, cocadas, and much more. After a bit of sunset ambiance on the beach, there are a few options for a drink. El Mirador is near the lobby and is open in the evenings. Then you have the lobby bar, which I mentioned earlier, and then El Agave, the tequila bar, which was the place to be, located underneath the lobby and near many of the restaurants. Entertainment-wise, they are certainly set up with the facilities to do a lot. But what they did with them was a little underwhelming. For their big shows, they did have a proper theater. Then in the courtyard below the lobby, they set up a stage at night for entertainment, which simply wasn't at all too popular. I know I said this was low season, but it wasn't that low of a season. The next morning, I was up bright and early, scared half to death by a fake cow on the way to the beach, where I headed for another beautiful sunrise. Breakfast time at the Plaza Buffet. This is the international buffet that's open all day long. Overall, the variety was definitely there. Food was hot and ready to go as they opened. If I had to change one thing, I would say focus on less food service processed foods. That would be nice. But I can't say they're not in line with most of their competition on that front. A few more Mexican dishes would also be good. I think there are 3 things that they could improve which would dramatically elevate the guest experience without necessarily breaking the bank for them. First, landscaping. I'm not a landscape designer. I couldn't tell you how much they need to spend, but I'm gonna just throw out $1 million. Invest $1 million into the landscaping around the common areas and near the beachfront, and you will literally transform the resort. Give me more lush tropical escape from reality and less Myrtle Beach in March. Second, just improve the lighting color in the rooms, and add maybe like a single green plant of some sort. It would do wonders. Lastly, and most difficult, elevate your food. Even if you use the same ingredients and the same recipes, focus on the small details like food handling and seasoning. It would have a huge impact. Breakfast here is coming in on the lower end of acceptable for me. So it is definitely not a bad resort, but there are definitely better ones out there for your money. That I know for sure. I really do hope that you enjoyed this resort tour today. If you did, please be sure to click that like button and subscribe with notifications on for 2 new videos each week. I'll see you next time for a very special flight from London. Oh, and as always, thanks for watching until the end.